To begin this tutorial, the first thing we'll do is go to the Curve tab. From there, we'll use the Assets command, and inside the Closed Curves section, we'll look for Asset 025, which has a heart shape. To position it correctly, we'll double-click it and type 0, placing it exactly at the center. Now, from the top view, we can select it and, using the gumball, adjust it slightly so that the left limit is more or less centered within this grid square. Now that we have it positioned, we want to remove this sharp point. To do that, we'll use the Blend command, blending from this curve to this one. Here, we'll flip point number 2 so the curve behaves correctly. Using this line as a guide, we'll click once, then click again on the line and place the other handle on the same line. As you can see, both sides are now tangent. When it looks right, use Trim, then Join, and Accept. Now the heart shape is nicely smoothed. At this point, the heart is too small. Since we know that each grid quadrant represents 10 millimeters, we'll scale it up to around 20 millimeters. Select the curve, hold Shift to scale uniformly, and increase it until it's close to 20. Now we have an appropriate size for our model. Next, we'll select the curve and make an offset of 2 millimeters outward. After that, we'll use Fit with the default tolerance to reduce the number of control points. Now we can select everything and, from the perspective view, extrude it 2 millimeters. Hold Shift to activate shaded mode. Select the object, go to the Sub-D tab. We'll use Remesh. Set it to 0.5 and activate symmetry in the Y-axis. To visualize it better, we can activate Convert to Sub-D, activate the preview, and hide the original object. As you can see, the remesh creates a central symmetry line, which is important and something we'll adjust later. For now, we simply accept. We can keep the original extrusion on another layer in case we need it. Now we'll start cleaning up some edges. Activate the Edge filter, and we'll begin removing unnecessary loops. Double-click this one to select the full loop and delete it. We'll remove this one as well, then this one, and this one too. Finally, we'll remove this last one. Next, we need to add an edge loop to mark the lower edge. Select the edge loop, activate the Insert Edge command, and position it on the lower edge. Next, we'll take this entire loop and create another edge underneath it. We'll try to place it roughly in the middle. Now, the next step is to create the area where the chain will go. To make things easier, we'll activate Reflect along the center axis, so everything we do on one side is mirrored on the other. We'll count approximately 15 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Using the Face filter, we'll select these faces. From here, we'll extrude them up by 1 millimeter. Since the arrow is pointing downward, we'll enter -1, so it moves upward. Then we'll extrude them up by -1.25 millimeters. Now we'll repeat the process on the other side. We'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and start on the next one. Again, we'll extrude them up by 1 millimeter. then -1.25. With the edge filter, we'll double-click the loops and raise them slightly to refine the shape. Then we'll select these faces and use the bridge command to connect them. We'll set the number of segments to 2, which creates a center edge that we can adjust later. If you want more resolution, you could use 3, but 2 works well here. We accept. From the top view, set the view to bottom. We'll select this loop and adjust it to follow the curvature more smoothly. Now we can clearly see the 2 openings created on both sides. If this area feels too thin, we can select these faces and raise them slightly until it looks right. Once everything looks good, we'll remove the symmetry using Remove, or simply turn off Reflect. Now the shape is finalized. We'll notice that we need another edge to better define the limit of this channel. So we'll select this loop, use Insert Edge, and place it here to create a margin both above and below. We can move this edge slightly so both margins are even. Now we'll select these 2 faces, then the other 2, and double-click to select all the loop and extrude them inward by -0.3 millimeters. Before extruding these lane faces, make sure the gumball mode is set to Object so the extrusion direction is correct. This creates the channel where the gemstones will sit. Next, we'll select this edge, and this one as well. Double-click to select the full loop, go to the Curve tab, and use Duplicate Edge. We'll disable the filters and move these curves to another layer so we can see them more clearly. Now we simply select the curve, go to the Diamonds tab, and use the Gems by Curve command. We assign the curve, select the object as the orientation surface, and the gems are placed correctly along the channel. If we see that the gems are too large, we can reduce their size, for example to 1.40 millimeters. We'll also increase the spacing slightly to leave room for the prongs. We can check the alignment from the lower side as well. Now we activate the prongs, adjust them as needed, and then activate the cutters using the 4th preset. We accept. Next, type Cell Curve to select all curves, move them to Other Layer, and hide them. We'll adjust this area by selecting it. Switching the gumball to C-plane mode, scaling it slightly, and flattening it a bit more with the gumball for a cleaner surface. Now hide the gems, cutters, and prongs. Go to the Diamonds tab and User Manual Pave command. We'll assign the object and add a 1 mm gemstone here. Now we will lower the gemstone slightly. Then we create a cutter using the last preset and accept. Now show everything again and perform a Boolean difference between the solid and the cutters. Finally, we can join all the geometry together. At this point, the model is complete. All that's left is to render our heart pendant. I'll leave a reference render, but feel free to send us yours.